Hey, hello investors, welcome to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be going through some options terminology. I'm going to show you how you could use these in order for you to become a better option trader and most importantly, grow your portfolio consistently over time. So if you're new to options trading or you're trying to use options to generate some extra income in order for you to supplement your regular 9 to 5, then you so happen to stumble onto the right video. Welcome to Investment Gains. Let's jump right into it. Welcome back, investors and future investors. My name is Tim, and on this channel, I show you how I use my portfolio in order to make consistent income. For today's video, we're going to be going through several options terminology, and as a new trader, I know some of these might sound foreign to you, but all you need to do is just practice, practice, practice. The only way for you to get better at options is to get down and dirty with options. That being said, before we go ahead and get down and dirty with options, I would need you guys to do two things and two things only. Number one, always do your own due diligence before investing. Secondly, before getting into any option contract, always make sure you have an exit strategy. Now that we have highlighted those two, let's go ahead and get down and dirty with options. So, for today's video, we're going to be highlighting Micron Technology, ticker MU. Now, the first word you're going to learn today is going to be options chain. In order for you to be an options trader, you must know how to navigate around the option chain. In order to get to the option chain, we're going to go right down here where it says trade MU options, and that's going to allow us to open up the option chain. So, what is the option chain? The option chain is a string of numbers and information that allows us to make a more informed decision. The reason why they call it a chain is because it's linked together by different aspects, which we're going to go through in detail. So your first word for today is option chain. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to continue. So whenever you decide to do options or get into options, you have a choice. Just like everything else in life, we always have a choice. So you could decide one of two things. Either you want to be a buyer of options or you want to be a seller of options. Now, on this channel, we focus mostly on selling options in order to generate consistent income, and that's how we grow our portfolio, and that's how we become wealthy over time. But I'm going to show you the buy aspect as well as the sell aspect. And like I said a couple seconds ago, you have a choice which one you want to do. So if you were to buy an option, and these are just going to be straight out examples. If you were to buy an option, let's just go right down here. We're going to just use this one, for instance. Whenever you're going to buy in an option, you're always going to have to pay. So the amount of money you're going to have to pay right now, if you were to buy this option, is going to be $1.58. Now we're going to get into that a bit later. I'm trying my best not to make this video overwhelming and confusing. So that's it pretty much for buying. If you're going to be buying something, you're going to have to be paying something. So we're going to go over now to sell. Now, whenever you're going to sell something, you're always going to be compensated in some form. With options, that's going to be an option premium. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to click into this right here. And as you can see here, if we were to sell this option contract, we're going to receive some kind of credit. Once again, the credit we're going to receive here is $1.47. Now, please do not focus on the prices right here. Focus on the strategies that we're using and focus on everything else but the number right here. That number is going to grow over time. I promise you that. Now, since on this channel we focus mainly on selling options for income, we're going to stay on the selling aspect of options. So we've gone through option chain, we've gone through buying options, we've gone through selling options. Now, whenever you have decided whether you want to be a buyer of option or a seller of option, you then have two further choices. And those choices are going to be whether you want to do a call or a put. Now, if you're going to be selling an option, whether you sell a call or you sell a put, you're still going to be generating income. And that's why I have decided to be an income option seller. So we're going to stay on the sell call aspect and we're going to continue with this example. Now, this example, we're going to be selling a call. Now, in order for you to sell a call, two aspects need to be evident. Aspect number one is that you must own 100 shares of a stock, or aspect number two, you must be able to control 100 shares of a stock. Now, in order for you to buy or own 100 shares of a stock, you need to literally buy it at the current share price. So the next word is going to be share price. So as you can see down here, the share price is $90.50, or it's also featured to the top right here. So if you were to buy 100 shares of Micron right now, it's going to cost you $90.50, or it's going to average out to be $9,050. Now, where did the $9,050 come from? Well, that's going to have us get into our next option terminology, which is going to be a contract. An option contract is an agreement between an option buyer and an option seller. Now, I'm going to stay right there with that because once again, I'm trying to keep it very simple. So there you have it. An option contract is an agreement between an option buyer and an option seller. Now, within every single option contract, there are 100 shares. So going back to the example, the $9,050 came from $90.50 per share, and you're going to multiply that by a contract, which is 100 shares. Hence, you're going to get $9,050. You see, this is not all that difficult to understand. So we're going to get out of this, and now we're going to go over to put. So that was a sell call, or in option terminology, it's going to be known as a covered call option strategy. Okay, now we're going to go over to sell, and we're going to go over to put. Now, when you're selling a put, it's highly advisable that you choose a strike price, and here's your next word, strike price, below the share price. So the strike price we're going to be going with is going to be $88. Now, these are not real trades. So we're just going through this so that you are better able to grasp some option terminology. So we're going to be on strike price right now. So this strike price, which is another word, that's going to be whatever price you chose based on the outcome you want to achieve by buying or selling a contract, or selling a call, or selling a put. I'm going to get back into that in 2 seconds. I just want to show you something of extreme relevance and importance. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click right here. And this sell put, once again, it allows us to bring in some type of income. The income here is going to be $1.23. So this word is extremely important. If you're going to be a seller of option, you need to remember total credit or premium. If you do any option strategy and it does not say you're going to receive a credit, that means you are a buyer of an option. Now, just to come back to the word you learned earlier, which is a contract, if we were to get $1.23 for this option contract we're going to be performing, remember, we need to multiply this 123 by 100. So in actuality, if we were to do this option strategy, we're going to be receiving $123 credit into our account. Now, I did say, do not focus on the amount of money here. This usually gets people off track. Just remember the option strategies and the option terminology. So another word is going to be cash secured put. With a cash secured put, what you're essentially saying is that don't mind owning whatever stock it is at whatever strike price you chose. So strike price is of extreme relevance. So let's do a quick recap. So I know you guys are following. And if you guys are following, let me know so far in the comments below which one of these option terminology is the best one that stands out to you so far. So we could either buy options or we could sell options. And we decide to focus on selling options. So option terminology, sell options. When you decide to sell options, you have a choice whether you could sell a call, which is going to give you a covered call option strategy, or you can decide to sell a put, which is going to give you a cash secured put option strategy. Both of these option strategies allow you to generate credit or option premium. This option premium is what allows you to grow your portfolio over time. Now, you also learn contract. Whatever the option premium is that you're going to be receiving, that needs to be multiplied by 100 shares, and that's going to give you the total of the amount of money you have coming in. Now, let's continue. Option premium is extremely important if you're going to grow a portfolio over time. Now, what I love about selling options is that whenever you sell an option contract, you receive premium or money right away. Now, here's the kicker. It does not matter what happens with the option contract. that money is going to be yours to keep no matter what. And that's why I absolutely enjoy selling options. So if this trade were to go against you, you're going to keep the 155. As soon as you decide to get into this contract, you're going to get 155. So your money is guaranteed and it goes into your portfolio right away. Now, let's go ahead and get into another option terminology, which is going to be your strike date. Now, your strike date is extremely important as well. So we're going to go to sell and call. And remember, these are not real trades. These are just examples. So I'm going to choose the $94 strike price. We just mentioned strike price. So by now, you guys should know what that is. And with the $94 strike price, I'm going to be paid premium, which we just went through as well, of $1.47. The $1.47 is going to be an option contract, which we mentioned before, and you're going to multiply that by 100 shares, which you also mentioned. Each option contract is 100 shares. So once I do this option strategy right now, I will be receiving $147 into my portfolio. So this is where the strike date comes into play. This $147 is only based on the strike date of February 7th, meaning come expiration date of February 7th, if this materializes, this is what I'm going to be keeping into my portfolio. So we're going to be using the exact same strike price right here, but this time we're going to be using a different strike date. So let's go ahead. We're going to use the next strike date. Let's see what that is. Oh, well, what do you know? That's going to be Valentine's Day, February 14th. So we're going to check. So we're going to take the exact same strike price of $94 and we're going to click into it. Now, this is where strike date is extremely important. Because we went out just one additional strike date, our premium went up by almost an additional $100. So one option terminology you need to absolutely focus on almost all the time before getting into any option contract is going to be your strike date. Now, I said this earlier. On this channel, we sell options in order to generate consistent income. If you're a seller of an option, always try your best to choose a strike date that works for you. Now, with selling options, it's more advisable to sell options that's either 30 days or less. The reason for that is that you do not want the buyer of the option to have too much time in order for the trade to go in his favor. Okay, let us continue. So now we have strike date out of the way. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite aspects, which is going to be a chance of profitability. What a chance of profitability tells you is that the likelihood of whatever trade you do to go into your favor. So we're going to maintain this exact same example. So my chance of profitability is 72%. That means I have a 72% chance of this trade going in my favor. Now, because you're a seller of an option, I'm going to give you another option terminology, which you're going to love. This option strategy is known as a win-win option strategy. Make a note of that. Win-win option strategies is actually what you want to always get into. So the covered call option strategy is a win-win option strategy. And let me go ahead and show you why it's a win-win option strategy. So with the covered call option strategy, you're going to be selling a call. And we went through this a bit earlier. You need to either have 100 shares or control 100 shares in your portfolio. Once that's achieved, then you choose your strike date. Once that's achieved, you choose your strike price and you get your premium. That premium is yours to keep no matter how the trade goes. So there you go. You win. So come expiration date of August 14th, if the share price is trading any price below the $94 call, then you keep your 240, you win there, and then you keep your 100 shares of the stock, and then you get to do this strategy again over and over and over. That's your win right there. Now, I did say it's a win-win, so here's your other win. Come expiration date once again of August 14th, if the share price is now trading above the $94 strike price, well, here's your big win once again. You keep your option premium, but then now you have to sell your 100 shares, which is a total bummer. No, not really. The reason why not is because now you're selling your 100 shares at a price higher than what you acquired it at. And that's why this is a win-win option strategy. There are two absolute win-win option strategy. This one is the covered call. And let me go ahead and show you the other one. The other one is going to be the cash secured put. So we mentioned this briefly a couple minutes ago. So let's go ahead and just show you how it works out. Once again, these are not real trades. These are just examples. So we're just going to go with the $88 strike price right here. And then we're going to get our premium. So remember, win-win option strategy. As soon as we do this, we're going to get $191 in our account. Come expiration date, if the share price is trading at any price above this $88 right here, then you get to keep your collateral. Here's another word for you, collateral. Collateral is going to be the amount of cash you put down in order for it to get into this particular option contract. Hence, it says cash secured put. The collateral is going to be cash. So you're going to be able to now receive your cash back and do this option strategy again and again and again. Now, there's another win for you. Remember, this is also a win-win option strategy. Come expiration date of Valentine's Day, if the share price is trading at any price below your $88, then you keep the $191, but then now you have to buy 100 shares at your strike price. Remember strike price we mentioned earlier. So here's how you win. In addition to your $191 that you get to keep, you get to buy 100 shares at much less than what the stock was trading at prior to whatever the strike date is. So a win-win option strategy. So if you are new to options, remember, try your best to get into option strategies that are a win-win option strategy. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to our next option terminology, which is a chance of profitability. Let's go back to call and 94. So like I was saying, the chance of profitability was 72% right here, which gives us a 72% chance of this trade going in our favor. The opposite to that is going to be 28% chance. That means there's a 28% chance that this trade goes against us. But the chance of profitability is always going to be based on your own personal preferences and tolerance because I just mentioned it. This is a win-win option strategy. So even if the trade goes against us, we still stand to benefit in some form or way. Now, hopefully you guys are able to follow so far. And once again, let me know what is your favorite option terminology in the comments below. Now we're going to get a technical. Hopefully you don't mind. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to click into the strike price on the option chain. And now you guys should know all the words I just mentioned a second ago. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to scroll down. Within the option chain, we have additional information that helps us make an informed decision. And one of those is what's known as the Greeks. The Greeks is of extreme importance, but most people don't usually dwell on it because it's something you're going to pick up over time. You're not going to be a new option trader and you're going to be able to know what the Greeks are or how to use them in order to benefit you. So I'm going to give you a brief terminology of the Greeks. So the delta. The delta is your friend. And I am going to make an option video about the Greeks, so don't worry too much. So what the delta does is that the delta tells you the price movement of the share price in any direction up or down of $1. So if MU share price was to move up by $1, your entire option is going to move up by your delta, which is going to be 0.40. Once again, we just mentioned contract. Each contract is $100. So your overall option is going to be moving by $40. 0.40 multiplied by 100. Now your gamma. Your gamma tells you by how much your delta is going to move. So once again, if your delta were to go up by 0.40, then your overall option is going to go up by 0.40 plus 0.04, which is your gamma. I know. This is confusing. That's why I make my videos and try to make them as simple as possible. I do not want anyone to get overwhelmed and think this is hard to do. It's actually not. So your next option terminology is going to be theta. Now, theta is your friend if you're selling options. Theta has everything to do with time. So if you were to sell an option contract today, let's say today is February 2nd, and time is working for you in your favor, then every day that passes, your option contract is more secure. Now, the opposite to that for the option buyer, every day that passes puts him or her more in jeopardy. Now, your vega. Your vega has everything to do with your implied volatility. So there you go. Two option terminology in one, vega and implied volatility. Now, implied volatility is pretty much the riskiness of the stock. So here's a rule of thumb, just based off of my own personal preferences. Any implied volatility of 1 to 50% is kind of low. Any implied volatility of 50% to 100 is decent, and as an option seller, you would like to be between that range. Now, any implied volatility of more than 100%, then you really need to dot your I's and cross your T's because you enter into the risk zone right here. So your vega determines your movement in implied volatility. Now, row. You hardly gonna ever hear row being mentioned. Row is like that kid in the back of the class that just wants to be left alone. Row has everything to do with interest rates. So there you have it. Those are the Greeks. So let's go ahead and do a simple recap right now. In order for you to get into option trading, you need to familiarize yourself with option terminology. Option terminology is what's going to help you in order for you to make an informed decision. With every informed decision you make, that's going to tell you whether you're going to be growing your portfolio or blowing up your portfolio. As soon as you get into the option world, you're going to decide whether you want to be a buyer of option or a seller of option. On this channel, we focus mainly on selling options in order to generate consistent income. When you decide to sell an option, you then have secondary choices, which is going to be if you want to sell a call or you want to sell a put. Based on whatever your decision is, then there's certain criteria that need to be met in order for you to go ahead and fulfill these contracts. Once you decide sell a call or sell a put, then you need to go ahead and choose your strike date. Your strike date is going to help you to get additional premium or is going to help you get more time on your side. Now, once you get past these three, then now you go ahead and you choose what's known as a strike price. Your strike price is going to be based on your own personal risk tolerance and whatever you want to achieve by selling that particular contract. Now, you're going to get into your chance of profitability. Your chance of profitability, again, is another personal preference that you want to choose, and that's going to be based on how long you've been trading options and whatever you want to achieve by this contract, or most importantly, the amount of premium you want to receive. Once you get through those phases, then you're going to come to your option premium, which is your bid price. But a seller option, we're going to keep it simple, is your option premium. Once you decide to click into any option contract, you're going to be receiving money right away. That money you receive right away or total credit is your option premium. And that is what allows you to grow your portfolio consistently over time. In order for you to do any one of these option strategies, you will need to either own 100 shares of a stock, control 100 shares of a stock, or have cash or cash equivalent in your portfolio in order to perform these option strategies. If there's any other option terminology that you guys would like me to go over, let me know in the comments below. Now, if you found any value in this video, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, if there's anyone out there struggling to grow up a small portfolio, go ahead and share the video with them. Let's try to help as many as we can. And until the next video, keep pushing your investments.